Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Annie Courto. I am a dietitian with OnPoint Nutrition. We are a virtual nutrition and weight loss company. This is my team member, Kate.
Hi, back again.
Yes. So happy Thursday. So it is coming to an end of March. March is National Nutrition Month. So in honor of that, every Thursday we've been bringing to you guys a new live broadcast on a different nutrition topic. Last week, we got a lot of questions on organic foods, if organic food is more nutritious than non-organic food. So we thought today we would take some time to talk about organic versus non-organic food, right?
Right.
So organic is on the rise. We see it everywhere. It seems almost impossible to walk through a grocery store and not see the word organic stamped across the product. It's very enticing. We see organic, we think it's healthier, we want to buy it. But that can be a little bit confusing, right? Do you ever run into that where you see something labeled organic and you think, is this healthy? Is this not healthy? Should I buy it just because it's organic?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we're going to dive into some of those questions today. So to start it off, what does organic mean? So any food that's labeled organic has to go through several steps with the USDA to be able to display that it's organic. So any farms requesting that organic certification has to submit a plan annually demonstrating that they're meeting certain criteria. So the first one being any fruits or vegetables, any crops that are organic have to be grown without the use of irradiation, sewage sludge, no synthetic fertilizers, certain pesticides, and they can't use any genetically modified organisms. Mm-hmm. So that's for crops.
Yeah, and then also pertaining to organic meats, meats and livestock, the stipulations for that is that animals have to be raised with access to the outdoors, and also without antibiotics or growth hormones. So those are some of the stipulations for the produce, the livestock and the meats.
Organic. Yep. And then any other multi-ingredient products like crackers, cereal, any kind of processed food, if that's going to be organic, it has to contain 95% or more of organic ingredients. So any of the ingredients within it have to meet all those criteria for the growing process. So that's what it means to be organic. So there's just certain criteria that the growers, that the producers have to meet in order for them to be able to label it as organic. So now that we know what organic means, we're going to talk a little bit about, is organic more nutritious than non-organic? So it's difficult to conduct a controlled experiment to evaluate the nutrition value and health impacts of organic foods. There's the continually changing variables, growing season, weather, geography. There's a lot of things that can affect the nutrition value of both organic and conventionally grown products or conventionally produced products. But for the sake of this argument, we're going to highlight some of the pros of organic foods, some of the cons, and also the pros and cons of non-organic food.
Yeah.
So to start off, the basic nutrition components of organic food and non-organic food is going to be the same. So an organic apple versus a non-organic apple, it's going to have the same amount of carbs, same amount of sugar, same vitamins and minerals. The basic nutrition components are not going to differ. Same thing with organic chicken versus non-organic chicken. It's going to be the same nutritionally, same protein, same fat. None of that is going to be altered based if it's organic or not. But there are some things that might be better health-wise with organic foods. Would you kind of want to dive into that a little bit?
Yeah. So to say that an organic food is healthier than a conventional food is not necessarily true, depending, when you think about the nutrition from the nutrition aspect. But one of the good benefits of an organic food is that they contain little to no pesticides. And consuming organic foods can significantly decrease your chance for ingesting pesticides since they aren't treated with any during the process. And studies have shown that there are risks with prolonged exposure to pesticides. So I think that that's one of the reasons that a lot of people gravitate toward an organic food diet, is because your risks are definitely way lower.
Right. So there's definitely well-documented studies and showing that ingesting pesticides could potentially be harmful to your health. So if you want to kind of decrease your potential risk for ingesting pesticides and protect the harmful effects that might have, organic food is going to be significantly lower in that risk. Yeah. Another really good reason to go organic is for the environmental reasons. So organic food is going to, there's a lot of reasons that people gravitate towards organic food if we're really passionate about climate change. There is a lot, as the world continues to be affected by that, we start to see more and more reasons that organic food can be beneficial. So because organic food is grown without the use of any synthetic chemicals, there's a lot lower risk of the soil to be contaminated or the water to be contaminated by those chemicals that could potentially have negative effects on our environment.
Yeah, and also most organic food is produced and distributed locally, so decreasing your carbon footprint is also a big plus with choosing organic foods, and less energy used for transportation as far as buying it from someone local, and also in the transport of their goods, and less carbon emissions as a whole.
Right. Yep. So as most organic food is distributed local, grown local, so it's going to be less time to distribute it, so less carbon footprint. So environmentally, organic is going to have a lot more upsides than the non-organic food. So those are some of the good reasons to go organic. Nutritionally, it's not going to alter the food. You're still going to get the same vitamins, minerals, all the same healthy stuff in organic food as it's in the non-organic competitor, but it's going to be low. If you choose organic, you're going to lower your risk for ingesting the pesticides. It's going to be more environmentally friendly, and it could
also cut down on your carbon footprint in the world. And so those are some of the pros. When we think about the downside of organic foods, the only thing that it would really maybe harm is your wallet.
Yes.
And according to like the Food and Agriculture Organization, organic food is more expensive than conventional food for a variety of reasons. So one reason being that the labor is a little bit more intensive, so it's a little bit more expensive when it comes to producing the organic foods. And another thing is that the food supply is a little bit more limited in comparison to the rising consumer demand and popularity. Right. Also, there's higher standards for animal welfare in organic food production, and also more protection for the environment. So higher prices of organic foods compensate for low financial returns of, rotations on soil.
Right. So really there's no negative health effects of organic food, but just might be a little bit more expensive. So just keep that in mind. Someone had a really good question that's going to bring us into our next topic about buying thicker skinned fruits. So one thing like bananas, watermelon, anything that has like a peel or a skin on the outside of it, that's going to be, you can get away with not buying that in organic because you're going to have a less of ingesting any pesticides that might be on it because they're protected by those skins. So really good question. And there are some foods that it's kind of known as the dirty dozen. So foods you want to buy organic over non-organic because they have a higher, potentially higher pesticide content than other foods. Those are going to include peaches, apples, peppers, celery, strawberries, cherries, pears, grapes, spinach, lettuce, and potatoes. We'll post that list for you guys as well so you don't feel like you have to memorize it. But those are going to be foods that you want to buy organic versus non-organic if you want to lower your chance of ingesting certain pesticides. And any, like I said, anything with like those skins.
Yeah, you eat the skin off, Something like pineapple wouldn't be something you would want to buy organic.
So that kind of, someone just asked a question, if I can't afford to buy all organic foods, those are some of the top ones you want to try to gravitate towards buying organic. So as we always like to do every week is give you a recipe based on the topic we're talking about. So this is one of Kate's favorite recipes that she is going to share with you today. So I'll let her go over that with you.
Yeah, so now that we're getting into springtime, lots of barbecues and traveling, things like that, and the fruit is becoming, more in season. A nice fruit salad is always a good option to bring to a party or to travel with. You can really use whatever kind of fruit that you just have an example of one with a honey lime dressing. And what you want to do is take your strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, cherries, or like I said, any other fruit that you like, and add it with a little bit of lime zest and lime juice and honey or agave, and just kind of mix that all up and refrigerate and serve chilled. To be nice on a warm day and in season, healthy, tasty snack.
Yep. We just got another really good question. If organic foods tend to go bad quicker than non-organic, that is true. But one good way to kind of salvage food is if you buy it in a large quantity, you can freeze some of it. So you don't have to worry about it going bad and being wasteful with it. So I freeze a lot of my fruit, freeze vegetables, because the organic food will go bad before other foods because it doesn't have a lot of those preservatives, the pesticides that are going to keep it fresher longer.
Exactly.
Yep. And one of my favorite things to do to save some money and also eat organically is to grow some of my own vegetables and herbs, which is really easy to do. So some things that are easy to grow are thyme, spinach, sage, basil, peppers, rosemary, plenty of things. So all you really need to do is just get some seeds or a starter plant. Last year I got a starter plant of peppers, and I had my own organic, fresh peppers all summer long, and just by buying a starter plant. So all I had to do is pay $10 to have peppers all summer long. You can buy seed packets. You can start with pots. You can start just in your backyard. Very easy to do if you want to dive into doing that a little bit on your own. And all the seed packets, all the starter plants have directions, so it's very foolproof. Just have to water it, put it in some sunlight, or whatever the package tells you to do. So it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, with a lot of those herbs too, as it moves out of the season, you can bring them inside. I know I've brought in my oregano plant and had it for years, just transferring it in and out of the house. So, there's a lot that you can do with herbs and plants.
Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, keep them coming. But just to kind of reiterate what we've gone over today, organic versus non-organic food, nutrition-wise, the nutritional content's not going to change. Still same vitamins, minerals, macronutrient content across the board, but it just might be a little bit healthier to reduce your ingestion of pesticides, which could potentially be harmful. It's also going to be more environmentally friendly, choosing organic versus non-organic. Also, the only downside, it might be a little bit more expensive, but if you want to do some organic, some non-organic, take a look at that Dirty Dozen list and try to gravitate towards more of those as your organic foods. Someone asked, is it okay for babies to eat organic foods? Yeah, absolutely. There'd be no reason why organic foods would be harmful. It's probably even better than non-organic foods. Yeah. All of this information is going to be posted tomorrow on our social media, OnPoint Philly, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also anyone that subscribed to the broadcast today is going to get an email with this content as well. So you'll have all the information and the recipe. Should we be concerned with organic granola bars and cereals? No, there's be no concern for an organic cereal or granola bar. It would be fine.
Just kind of, more of the same, where it could be better if you're trying to cut down on your, if you're conscientious of pesticides and things like that, but not necessary.
Right.
For your diet. Yeah.
Any other questions before we get going today? Okay, well, again, follow us on Facebook, OnPoint Philly, Instagram, Twitter. We will send you all this information today. Thanks again for joining, and we'll let you know next Thursday we'll be doing another broadcast topic to be announced, but it'll be good. Stay tuned. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye.